Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to HJN and Flying with the Foam. So Flying with the Foam today is going to be pretty awesome. Because I've talked about this blaster in retrospect to one that I was in fact going to point out in Nerf Secrets Revealed Aftersaw, but because its release status has been pretty delayed in the last 4 or 5 months, I had to replace the Ghoul Grinder spot with this blaster right here. Say hello to the Rival Saturn. This is in fact probably the most recent Rivals blaster that we currently have in the Rivals lineup as a whole, and I gotta say, a blaster like this certainly has a lot of things going for it. Yep. That's pretty much all you need to know. It is, in fact, what is pretty much appearing at this point. Simply put, just a Rival shotgun with the actual appearance of one. Yeah. As crazy as that seems, or as crazy as it sounds, I should say, this is, in fact, a blaster that I really do appreciate. There's a couple of things that I could let you know about right away. Number one, the fact that they have not had a new Edge blaster in a while, it's pretty amazing the fact that they were able to start releasing some new ones here. But only if they started releasing new blasters for like the Doomland series, or maybe the Modulus series, or the Aki Strike series, or probably even the Rivals Phantom Corps series. That would also be pretty nifty. If we could start seeing more blasters appear in those lineups, then we might just have a chance to pretty much reclaim our fanship for them. But the Edge series pretty much gives us a really good win with the Saturn. And I've talked about the many things in relation to trademark issues. Hasbro's had dozens of them in the last 10 years. But I gotta say, this right here is a good example of a blaster that seems to take on the original namesake tradition that Hasbro should have been sticking around with all this time. Because if you don't remember, all the way back in 2015 when the Zeus and Apollo first came out, they were not only the first blasters to be released in the Rival series, but as the series progressed, we started getting more blasters that were named after certain mythological figures out there, including Nemesis and this, Saturn. Basically the name of a planet. It was also the name of a mythological figure in history. But now, this is what we got here based on what the name Saturn could possibly apply to. Yeah, the planet itself still exists, and its rings are probably going to die out soon, but I'd say that this is a pretty good pick here for anyone who's looking forward to a Rival shotgun match. Of course, to load this thing, it's pretty much like quite a few other blasters out there. The Kronos, and many more out there. They all load by just simply pushing HIR rounds deep into here and basically just pumping it forward and firing. So I should say right away, this blaster is already pretty nice just for having that sort of normal functionality put into it. But unlike the Achilles, or basically some of the Rival shotgun blasters that we've had in the past, you can actually do slam fire with this. Yep. Slam fire on the Rival Saturn. We're coming right at you. I gotta say, this is a pretty nice touch that I found out here. And let me just say, there's quite a few reviewers out there, like Wacom S7 and American Foam, that have reviewed this blaster, and they gave it some really good ratings. I mean, I was kind of shocked the fact that I picked this thing up months ago, and I'm still pretty much in love with it, whereas most of the other blasters I've picked up, I seem to just have them in my collection, but not pay too much attention to some of them. This is one of those that I'd certainly keep putting my hands on all the time. I could just never get enough if it's nice action. And I also gotta say that the color scheme they chose for this, with this nice sort of brown finish, kind of reminiscent to that of, well, artificial wood. As a matter of fact, its texture is actually very similar to that of artificial wood. So, that's a pretty good add-on to this. This nice little brown color to accompany the nice highlighter green, the black, and the orange. It's a pretty good combo in a way. The Mercury and Jupiter, of course, had red for the most part, but this nice brown here is a nice touch. Very nice. If there's one other thing I should pretty much mention about this blaster, it's this, wow. I guess the one thing that reminds me about this is, well, The Last of Us Part 2. That game was quite a long run for me to play. I didn't even finish the whole entire thing. I got pretty darn far though. GWK is in fact going to be loaded with The Last of Us 2 style gameplay, featuring me as well, the guy who plays that game. But I should mention that somewhere along the game you get a pump shotgun. And I don't really know if there was a connection to this, because this blaster actually came out a couple months after the game was released in June 2020, and this was released by the end of August of 2020. I mean, I saw this thing in shelves pretty quickly by the time it was announced and then released. But of course I was able to pick one of these up for about 30 bucks. No big deal, pretty much. And I should say, it's probably worth every single nickel, dime, quarter, penny, dollar, $5 bill, $10 bill, $20 bill. It's probably worth every one of those that I ever put together for this thing. So, money well spent. So yeah, I mean, that's just how exciting the whole entire thing is. But this is kind of where I pretty much reach my limits here, because I probably go crazy with this thing. Well, anyways, still more HJN topics to go, and still more flying with the foam coming right at you live from me, Jay Nowak. But if you want to see more, go down to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.